I've got to say something. Silence. No.
The suspense.
Oh, Nick. All right. So welcome to the Wyld Farm Family Fun Show. This is episode 2 with Nick and Troy. And so a little bit of context about this show. We like to talk about everything farm, everything family, have a little bit of fun, and most importantly, highlight all the good things around family, fun, and health. And so you're going to get a flavor of a little bit of everything on this show. The first show was just Nick and I diving into things like food voltage and some recipes in the kitchen, thanks to Nick, who's also a chef and a health coach. I am the founder of Farm Bridge, so naturally with all the work we do with the farming community around local food systems, just made natural sense to Nick and I to create the show. So what you'll get is a series of guests that are way more expert than Nick and I in various different levels. But Nick and I will jump in, kind of swing the conversation around, intrigue you with some questions. There is a live chat feed, so please chat in questions at any time, as well as any comments that you have for Nick and I. We will share resources, links, recipes, all those types of things that you'll be able to access from the comment box. This is a live recorded show, but it also will be recorded. Therefore, you can go back and access it at any time on YouTube and Facebook. So much for the intro. What I'd like to do is dive right in. I'll pitch it over to Nick for a few comments, but then we have some awesome guests to share with you around Thanksgiving holiday recipes, cooking in the kitchen with family, and then we'll end it with a guest talking about holistic health around the holidays. And so I'm going to kick it over to Nick to share a few words, and then we'll get going.
Thank you so much, Troy. Really wonderful to be back with you and this amazing group of individuals with Suzannah and Jordan. Thank you so much for joining Troy and myself with the Wyld Family Fun and Food Show. Real quick, I woke up this morning with a really beautiful vision in my head about what this is really all about, which is that these 4 pillars of farm, food, family, and fun is really at the root for me, is that everyone has a place at the table and no one is forgotten. So with that being said, that's all I really want to jump into, because I really want to turn it over to Suzannah, who is cooking up a one-sheet supper Thanksgiving feast. Is that correct, Suzannah?
That is totally correct. You
are.
All
right, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So you are in my farmhouse kitchen. You are here with me. You're invited in anytime you want to come.
Where are you, Suzannah, like in the world?
I am in Alto, Michigan. I have Berry Bow Herb Farm in Alto, Michigan. So I'm right in the outskirts of Grand Rapids.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please. Like, what do you do in the world besides, put together these amazing foods?
I love food. It's the core of my being. I love cooking. I love sharing my recipes. But with my herb farm, I grow as many herbs as I can myself, and then I turn them into all my own different products. So I have a spa line, health and wellness, no preservatives, no chemicals. I have a licensed food line, so I sell herb vinegars, herbal oils, herbal finishing salts, herb jellies. Oh, I do a lot of crafty things as well. I have chickens, so I do have eggs. And I have a love for farmers markets and going out and sharing my love of food with everyone. In the last 3 years, I became a certified health and wellness coach, so I could sort of tie the whole package together.
And so Suzannah too, as well, we chatted in your website so people can find all the awesome stuff that you're doing as well as all the products that you have for sale. And I think you're being a little modest. You do a lot of different things, and you're pretty excellent at them. I know Suzannah personally. She lives nearby to me and does a tremendous job running the local farmers market here, and has been really, I think, operating your herb farm and operations for over 25 years, I believe, right? Practicing it for over 20 some years. And so tremendous amount of experience. You guys are going to learn quite a bit about what she has to share. And so let's hear about this Thanksgiving dinner and what we can do around the holidays.
Okay, so we all know in the last few years that sheetpan suppers have become extremely popular. And why not? We can put everything on one tray, bake it up. We have a healthy, delicious dinner done. So why not apply that same concept to our Thanksgiving dinner? So we're having our micro Thanksgiving. That does not mean we're going to give up on good food. Good food is essential to our health, our wellness, our well-being, our mood, our happiness, our physicality, and food is essential. This is something that could feed 2 to 4 people or maybe just one. It's also something that's really great. You could put it on a disposable tray and take it to our healthcare workers, to our disabled peoples in the world, to our veterans, to our elderly, to someone in need, which I really like because this is super economical too. So really, it's just applying the concept of putting everything on a sheet pan. And I have recipes for this. So I went with a turkey tenderloin, so it would cook up fairly fast. I have beautiful homemade stuffing, which is delicious. It's my favorite, so I went a little overboard maybe on that. I have Brussels sprouts with a little bit of feta cheese, and I have the sweet potato with some of my berry bow finishing salt on it. And this took me maybe about 40 minutes to put together, maybe an hour bake time, and it all turns out on one sheet pan. And here we go. It's ready to go. And we can have leftovers, and it's just delicious. Again, lots of different herbs in here. We really want it to be tasty, healthy, good for us, make someone happy, spread gratitude and joy. And I also have where you can have the cranberries on there also, which is really yummy. Just a quick little hot cranberry sauce. So I know you're saying, where's the gravy? Okay. We do not need, right? We don't need pan drippings for gravy. I just made a beautiful vegetarian cider sage gravy, and I really like this one. It's really tangy and tart. It has a lot of sage in it, and it keeps well in the fridge too if you want to use it later.
Suzannah, that all sounds unbelievable. Wow.
It smells great in here.
I can only imagine what your house must smell like, being that you're a herb farmer as well. Do you mind if I ask a question, just for those that might be, kind of wondering about some of the herb combinations for this holiday season? Like what are some of the most common herbs that you're going to be seeing this Thanksgiving?
We always see sage, of course. Everyone associates sage with our stuffing. I really like rosemary quite a bit. It's a strong herb. It will stand up to strong taste factors. I do like lemon thyme quite a bit. I have that in the stuffing. I like some of the different finishing salts. I love to add a little bit of vinegar to give everything a pop in taste. You could always use parsley. Tarragon has that gorgeous licorice flavor to it. Dill, delicious. And herbs, they play well together. You can mix them all together and they're going to be nice to each other.
That's beautiful. And Suzannah, so real quick, or maybe not real quick, but what inspired you to become a herb farmer?
I have a long line of farmers in my family, but I never knew I would be one. I had a very tedious job as a court reporter early in my career as a young girl, and I started growing herbs as my hobby and making my own products to reduce chemicals and preservatives, and just for the beauty factor, the health factor, the fun factor, a love of aromatherapy and herbs. And it just grew and grew and grew exponentially from that until I finally bought a farm, and I keep making products. I keep learning more. It's just a never ending cycle. It's a passion for me.
Wow. That's amazing. I can feel your energy, passion for what you do. And it does not surprise me in the faintest that you have been as successful as you are with what you're bringing to the world. So thank you, Suzannah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Troy, are there any questions coming in through the through the chat.
No questions yet, but I was curious. I know we talked about the Sheetpan Thanksgiving, but share a little bit about some other recipes that are your favorites, Suzannah. I know you do a lot of cooking shows. You've been on some local shows, sharing some recipes and everything. So I know that this is an area that you have an expertise in, you love sharing. So if you wouldn't mind, share a few other things with some folks to see if it sparks their ideas for the holidays here.
Absolutely. So I also really love the concept of vegetables. I like to fill my plate with at least half to 3/4 vegetables. All of this could be done completely vegetarian, and I do a lot of vegetarian cooking. I do like a lot of things in the raw for the health benefits, the health, the vitality, not cooking everything out of our food. I like simple recipes. I like fancy recipes. I'll get into desserts soon and whip up some pies. I like really healthy food, though. I like to make my own food. I want to know what's in my food. I don't want a lot of salt. I don't want a lot of preservatives. I have to say also, everything here on the table tonight is all local food. I love our local farmers. I love our local food scene. Now more than ever, everyone needs to shop local, promote local, be local, eat local.
Yeah, so this is an area definitely close to our heart, right? This is an area that Suzannah and I are extremely passionate in, and what drives this show tremendously, which is the local support, and to be able to consume the food that's right next to you. Last week, Nick and I talked about food voltage and how important it is to actually consume food that's closer to you, because it retains the nutrients. It traveled less distances, and in most cases, and Suzannah can comment on this, when you go to a farmer's market, you may find produce there that has actually been picked within the same day. So you're talking within 24 hours, which is way more healthier for your body and provides that food voltage, or those, in a sciencey type way, electrons that your body needs to keep your energy moving. And so a very powerful thing. That's why local is so important, in addition to supporting your local economy. So anything else that you want to share with us? I'd love to actually hear some traditions. Like if there's any family traditions that you guys share around the holidays, that would be awesome.
So I'll have to get into some pie making. I will have to make my own favorite. It's called a vinegar pie. I know it doesn't sound that great, but it turns out really molasses-like and delicious. I have a love for it. My grandma Ingeborg used to make that quite a bit. I will probably make a sugar cream pie. I had a lot of ancestors in Indiana, so we're going to go a little bit Hoosier there maybe. There's some fun stories about my brother and at the farm with my grandfather Clarence, and putting oysters in the stuffing. So I always make an oyster stuffing in memory of that. And, I'm a Midwest girl, although I wasn't born here. And I'll definitely do a 7-layer salad. It's par for the course.
Now, I need to add, do you put lard in, do you use lard in your pie crust?
I will use lard in my pie crust. I'll also go with the store-bought pie crust, or I'll also buy local pie crust. I know quite a few bakers around here that are selling dough already ready for that.
Yeah, that's a really great distinction, Suzannah, is that like bakers are out there, or there are people providing pie shells for you. That's a really great distinction. So thank you for providing that. Wow, sugar cream pie, crazy. I like these pies. You're getting me all hungry. That's all I know.
I know. It's what I do.
I can only imagine the smells in your house in a constant. That's so amazing. Jordan Edwards.
How are we doing?
Have any questions for the chef de cuisine right here? I know we haven't quite introduced you, but we want to make sure that you have a voice, and if you have any questions of curiosity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, I'm excited to be here. Second off, how do I get invited to this Thanksgiving Day meal? It looks incredible.
So that's another beautiful thing I think we need to be grateful for this Thanksgiving, is that it might be a micro Thanksgiving. Some of us might be alone and not with our family. But with the wonderful advent of technology, I think we've proven we can all be together in grace very easily. So you are invited.
So I guess the real question that I was thinking about is, obviously you guys are all very versed in cooking. I hear it, I catch the lingo, some of the words I was like, ooh, this is exciting to be a part of. So what is a very simple meal that someone who's maybe not the best at cooking and maybe just wants to like cook for their family, is something that they could cook up for Thanksgiving? Like maybe a little side or anything.
You know, again, I have to revert back to the sheet pan dinner, because all you have to do is put everything on here. You can modify it. You could go much more simply. Maybe put some more squash on here. Drizzle it with olive oil. Give it a bake. That is it. It's that simple.
I hope
Anyone
everyone
can do it.
I love it. I hope everyone's got the confidence to do it. That's always my fear in the kitchen.
No fear in the kitchen. You just have to try and experiment. You'd be surprised what you come up with.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, Jordan. Thank you, Suzannah. I don't see any questions at this moment, but is there any last words that you want to share?
I don't. I just want to thank you guys. I have always adored working with you. I really thank you for having me on the show. Maybe I'll be back at some point. A lot of fun here. I love sharing. I wish everyone a very happy holiday.
Thank you, Suzannah. And we love working with you too. And we're having a blast. I know I am. I'm learning about cooking. Like I mentioned on the show before, my wife Tiffany is the expert in the kitchen, not necessarily me. And so I get to learn a little bit on these shows too. So amazing. Thank you so much. We wish that you will stick around with us. We're gonna bring on Jordan to talk a little bit about holistic health. So feel free to stick around, or you can go ahead and spend time with your family.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye, Suzannah.
Thank you, Suzannah.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Jordan Edwards, front and center.
How are you doing? I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Well, first and foremost, again, thank you so much for joining Troy, myself, and Suzannah tonight on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Jordan, I know that you and I literally just met, I think, this past Friday, but we all have kind of run in the same circle of this unblinded. And what really stuck out with me, Jordan, was you're like gallivanting all over the United States right now, which is awesome. And two, like what you're up to in the world. Like, if I might not have this just right, but what I was really drawn to is that you help people navigate and get through the unknown. And I don't know if there has ever been a unanimous year of unknown than is happening, that we are all writing in our books, in our chapters, in our lives right now. So I'd love to turn it over to you, and please just introduce you a little bit more about who you are and what you're up to in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm Jordan Edwards. And like Nick was saying, I help people navigate the unknown. I help coach people. And the way I've learned that is through my own experience, and then also through my podcast that I started through the coronavirus. I've actually had the founder of Reebok on, Joe Foster. He came on the show. We just got dropped one today. Scott Dickers was on. He's founder of The Onion. These people have navigated waters like you wouldn't even believe, through so much rejection and overcoming that. So learning from their insights, from my own insights of being able to live in Rome for a year, or even this year where I left my home in Tampa. I had a girl that I knew, like we were dating, but we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. And I took her on this trip and I invited her, and we ended up living in Denver, Salt Lake City, eventually Nashville, and now I'm in New Jersey. And it's just been an incredible experience, but it all stems from our perspective and how we look at the world and what are the choices we make. So when all the coronavirus started, I was in Tampa, and Tampa was pretty open, but I slowly started to realize that if I was staying in Tampa, I wasn't going to grow. And I've always wanted to go west. I've gone out to Salt Lake City once to stay at Snowbird for a leadership camp, and it was awesome. And I just wanted to get back to those mountains. So I realized that I was going to be remote for the entire year. And this girl, I started talking to her, and when she found out that I was going, I invited her, obviously, and she was really hesitant. She didn't want me to go. But the first thing I did was I made the decision. And that's what each of you guys have to do. Everyone listening has to make a decision that I'm not going to wait till the new year. I'm going to make today my day that I will change. Not change for good or bad, but choose to be happy and choose to be grateful. I was on a call today. I did a podcast earlier, and we were talking about the concept of if you're grateful, you can't be angry. So think about that. If you are in gratitude, because your brain's wired differently, if you're in gratitude, you can't be angry. So anytime that we're in a place of we're in great enthusiasm, like we're doing really well, we should be grateful, and we should say that to our family. I actually did it with my family at dinner tonight, and it was beautiful. But back to the travels. So we go to Denver, and obviously there's adversity along the way. But my hindsight was I am going on this trip, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to make the most out of it. And that's what I need each and every one of you to do, to realize that we all have a choice. Everything we do is a choice. You guys have a choice to watch this show tonight. You guys could be sleeping. You guys could be doing anything, but you chose to watch this tonight, which should be the wake up for you to realize that you have to take control of your own life. And through navigating some of the unknown that we were going to talk about going into Thanksgiving, some of the good ways to do it. And from all the people I've spoken with, the founder of Reebok, that's $1 billion company, if not more, sold to Adidas. It's huge. He's 86 years old, so much wisdom. And the thing is that you have to realize that he took control. And that's what Nick and Troy are doing today with this show. They're taking control and they're creating. And that's what I need every single person on this call to do. Take control of your life. If you're not happy with it, find ways to change it. There's simple action steps you could take. Drink some water, getting hydrated, eating great food, going outside on a walk. These are very simple activities that all of us can do. Getting outside, a lot of people with coronavirus are scared of going outside, but the vitamin D is actually proven to deter coronavirus, and it helps with your immunity to it. So there's very simple things that we can be doing each and every day to feel better. So I ask you why you're not doing those yet.
So Jordan, you mentioned taking control. So just to dig in a little bit here. So what would it feel like for somebody out there maybe right now that's not living under control, so they could recognize that and make a decision or a choice?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's when you wake up, you don't feel a purpose, you're not excited, you resort to different alcohol, drugs, and it's not saying drinking and doing whatever is bad. It's just saying in moderation. When we're resorting to these, or we're overeating or not exercising and just not feeling happy with ourselves. When you take control, like discipline allows you to open up your mind to the happiness. Like I woke up this morning at 5:30 and worked out. I know Nick is a workout machine. You see the smile on this guy's face? He's happy all the time. And it's just because, yeah, it's hard. Working out is hard, but you feel good because you feel like you're growing, and you're either growing or dying. So if you feel like you're dying, Troy, I guess simply to do it, if you feel like you're dying, then you might want to start changing things up. And that could be anything. You're oversleeping. You don't want to get out of bed. You're upset about pretty much anything.
Yeah. So Jordan, what are some tips that you can offer to people that are looking to make a change, but they struggle? Like, let's say they set a goal for themselves and they hope to achieve it, maybe take one step forward and then a couple steps back. And so what typically is holding them back, and what are some tips that they could really hone in on making a change over the holidays here?
Yeah, I think one of the main things is modeling. We need to figure out people. And when I say modeling, I mean, if you see someone who's super successful, like we shouldn't dictate. Most of us resort on our parents and friends and brothers and sisters to give us insights. But I'm sorry, not everyone is able to give us insights in all those directions. They'll give you your opinion, but it's not. So if I'm going to model someone in business, let's go with Mark Cuban. He's a great person to model because then you can learn from him. Nick is ripped up. He is a great person to model for working out. Troy knows everything about you see what I'm talking about. Everyone is knowledgeable in different areas. So that's what, like Troy was talking about the local farming. I know nothing. There is no advice that I can provide to you about that. Troy is the expert. So you need to find what you're looking to do and find that expert. Then the next thing is you have to hold yourself accountable. And if you can't do it, I have a group that has people hold accountable, but you don't even need that. You could just have a friend, you and a friend. Hey, we're walking every single day today. We're going to walk at least a mile. It's very, very simple. And these are a couple of tips that we can do to really take that to the next level.
Great, great. And so just for our listeners that are just joining us maybe, so we're talking with Jordan around tips that you can do to take control of your life, holistic health approach around the holidays here. And so, Jordan is a life coach consultant and offers to help basically help you navigate the unknown. And so we brought Jordan on this show to help talk about health around the holidays as it fits into the show here around family, fun, and health. And so take what Jordan's telling you to and not only apply it with yourself, but think about how you can do it with your family because this show is very much family oriented. And so if there's anything in there, whether that's accountability, whether it's helping inspire somebody, like maybe you are somebody that wakes up with drive, but you're trying to inspire somebody else, inspire your kids, something that I try to do on a daily basis. I know that they're only 8 and 5, my two oldest ones. So I try to do my best, but there are opportunities out there to do those type of things.
Exactly.
And so earlier, Jordan, you shared something around being grateful. Do you have practices that you try out for gratitude? Like, what are some things that you do for gratitude yourself?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Thank you. What I was going to say is so some of the things I do is I'll wake up in the morning and come up with, sometimes I have a grateful list. Some things I do a priming exercise through Tony, and that provides gratitude. But the activity I tried today after the podcast was we were all sitting at dinner, and everybody can do this, even over Zoom. And we all sat there and said 3 things we were grateful for. And that could be as simple as I have the ability to hear and listen. I have the ability to listen and see. I have hands. When was the last time you thanked yourself for having hands? Seriously. It's so simple. It's so simple, but like we take so much for granted. We're like, hey, we don't have enough money to do this. We don't have enough money to do this. But in reality, we have everything we need. We just need to change the perspective, do a little paradigm shift. And another idea that came to my head is, why don't you and your family have a Thanksgiving Day 5K? A quick 3.2 miles. Or even if you guys can't do that, the whole family walks it. It takes an hour and a half. It's easy. It's fun. You're getting outside with the kids. Really, the gratitude, I'd highly recommend a Thanksgiving Day meal at your dinner, if it's a lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever it is, for you guys to sit there and have everybody in the room run through something they're grateful for, at least 3 things. It would completely change the trajectory of your Thanksgiving Day meal, even if it's over Zoom. And another thing I want to note is, obviously this is unprecedented times. And with my family, usually we go over to my family's house, but obviously that's not going to happen this year. So we actually have some neighbors who are by themselves, and they're going to come over for the Thanksgiving. And I would say if you're one of those people who feel alone and are a little scared, I'd say reach out and ask your neighbor to have you over, because we all deserve to be around people, and we all deserve to be happy and have that experience. And if it's through Zoom, brilliant. If it's in person, awesome. But any way it is, like, we should all be happy and be able to stand there and sit there and tell people who we're grateful for and what we are grateful for. And I'm grateful for you two having this show and inspiring people.
We're grateful for you too, man. Yeah, that's beautiful. For any parents out there, I like to share on the show. I like to share a couple tips around what to do with your kids, because I know sometimes it can be challenging when you say to an 8-year-old, "Tell me something you're grateful for." And so, what I try to help the kids out with is we say, tell me 3 things. Let's use the number 3 here. Tell me 3 things that you're grateful for, and just tell me why. Like, if you're grateful for your brother, why are you grateful for your brother? Because that's where it really matters. Like, what we're really asking you is, what do you care about? And do you realize how much that means to you every day? And so it can be difficult to translate that to a kid. But I just wanted to offer that up to any parents out there, that just ask them to tell you why, because kids love sharing why. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been on those long car rides, but it's why. So why don't you let them get into that and give them that why around gratitude.
I gotta just throw this in. I know I'm not a father, but I spent a number of time, a good amount of time around kids, and they always see me doing weird stuff at the gym, and they're like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" And I just love that you turn it back on them, like you. Well, why are you grateful?
If they're going to give it to me, while we go on these long trips, they're going to get it right back, And so what's funny is with FarmBridge, we do a lot of things around lean farming. And so in lean, there's a process called 5 whys. And so they're fortunate. They get a dad that practices it all day with the farming community, and I turn and flip it right back on them. So.
Yeah. And the other major point there, Troy, is that you're actually going to get to know your kids.
Yes.
There's so many people who they have kids and everyone says they love their kids and all that, but they don't actually sit there and say, "How's your day going? What's going on? Dude, you're being annoying. Like, I literally have this speaking engagement right now. You got to go." Like, something like that. Like, you guys saw that and you guys thought something was there. But I'm just saying that's how people act with their kids. They just push them off. And it's super important, that gratitude. And I love that next step where you go to the why. Because you're really understanding what's going through their head and what they're trying to get out of it, and what's going on with them.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Nick, any gratitude comments?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan, thank you so much for just dropping all of these amazing truth bombs, for all of us listening in. And I don't know how old you are, but you are wise beyond your years. I already, it's really amazing just to hear what you were saying from such a young, heart-centered man, and that's really inspiring for me. So I know I'm not that old, but I think you're probably a little bit younger than me. But as far as gratitude is concerned, yes, I would say that gratitude is so powerful in my life. I would actually say that it was the one thing that probably saved my life. It was it's no mystery that I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict, and I remember it was March 6th, the day that I actually went into treatment. It was this snowy night out in this treatment center. It was really lonely. There was a soft snow that was falling down on the earth, and I pulled out my journal for the very first time in I don't know how long. And what I remember writing, and I still have it today, was just writing down that my family and my best friends, those people that love me most, just showed me what true love really was. And in that moment, the seed of gratitude was planted. And I don't know, I didn't even probably know what really gratitude, I mean, I knew what gratitude was, but I hadn't really felt it, ever experienced it. And that moment was so profound that I held on to it. And just that concept of gratitude is just, it's ever present. It's as Jordan was sort of talking about it kind of is its own energy. Absolutely. It's always available, whether I choose to experience it or not. Just like happiness, I can choose to be happy or choose not to be happy. I can choose to be grateful or I can choose not to be grateful.
Yeah.
Jordan, I don't know if you've got anything that's present for you,
Nick,
that, but
I appreciate your vulnerability in telling me that. I never knew that. I never would have thought that, and I'm very impressed with the distance you've covered, because to me, you're just like this guy who's got it all going on, cooking, rips, like doing his thing, and I never would have known. But I appreciate the vulnerability there, and that just shows you that there's people, like, some of us are lost, and some of us do get lost, and that's okay. But gratitude is the anchor that can bring us back. If we sit there and, like we've talked about numerous times before with Unblinded, and people just want to be heard. People just want to be felt. They just want to be listened. So if we're able to have a conversation with each other, and it's not I or I, it's Nick, tell me about yourself. Troy, tell me about yourself. It changes the whole dynamic. Because then we're actually looking for something much deeper. We're looking for that human connection, which we're all seeking and we're all struggling with at this moment.
Beautiful, guys.
that is amazing, Jordan.
Nick, you're the man. You're the man, Nick. I tell you, man, to really dig in deep there. That's some powerful stuff. And
we all have to dig in deep, Troy. Like my what I've experienced, we all have our own different appearance of the same thing. It sounds like Jordan has got. I'd love to ask Jordan offline at some point about like what his aha moment of coming through the unknown would be. I'm sure there's something really powerful there. Troy, I'm sure you've had your things. We all have life to get through, and it's all different appearances of the same thing.
Yeah, and I think anyone listening to this, Nick should be an inspiration to the fact that what is possible. If you're in this place right now and you are struggling, model Nick. Model someone who's done it before. And I'm pretty sure any of us would be more than open to having a conversation with you if you are struggling or do need a little bit of assistance. Like, you guys can find me anywhere. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm everywhere. Just reach out. It's Jordan F. Edwards on Instagram. On LinkedIn, it's Jordan Edwards. I'm Edwards Financial Consulting. I'm everywhere. Just reach out if you are having a problem. And it doesn't have to be a coaching thing, but it could just be someone to talk to. And I know Nick and Troy are the same exact way, because they're just looking to help from my perspective.
Absolutely, Jordan. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful heart and your just willingness to want to truly just listen and have others be heard, understood, and what they say matters. So thank you for bringing that to tonight's episode number 2. Troy.
Yeah,
driving home, brother. Oh, by the way,
Jordan.
we'll post your podcast and whatever other pertinent information that you would love for our community to have access to. I'd love to listen in on lots of your podcasts. So thank you again. And Troy, I'm going to take it over to you. Final, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Jordan. We are grateful to have you on here. Truly grateful to have you on here. And thank you for both of you guys diving in deep on this topic around the holidays. Gratitude. I feel like there's times where we have an opportunity to say that we're thankful during Thanksgiving, and I think we really got some practical tips in this conversation, and hopefully listeners did as well. So I have chatted in how you could reach Jordan on Instagram and on LinkedIn. I've also chatted in his podcast is #ClockedIn. If you're looking to get more information about that, I believe it's across all podcast streams.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, those are the 2 big ones. But yeah, you can pretty much find it anywhere.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Thank you again, Jordan, for coming on. We'll go ahead and say a few parting words to recap the show. But thank you so much, Jordan.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. Do you have any final, Jordan? I know I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, my final is that I'm grateful for you guys having me, and I'm grateful for everyone listening. And I hope that anything I said or anything discussed tonight just helps one person. It really doesn't have to be anything more than that. I just hope it helps anybody who listens. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, and hope everyone has a blessed Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
Back to you, Troy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had a lot of fun tonight. We got to learn some recipes. So if you're just catching the end of the show, we had Suzannah Barrie on earlier, who is a master gardener, herb farmer, and chef. And she shared her Sheetpan Thanksgiving tips to help give you a Thanksgiving dinner that, in her words, is really quite simple for you to chop up some veggies and throw it on a pan, throw it in the oven, and have it ready for your family. So check that out earlier in the show if you're just joining us. Again, we just had a conversation with Jordan Edwards around holistic health and what you could do to really take control of your life and some gratitude practices along the way. And so thank you for joining our show tonight. Again, what we focus on here is farm, family, fun, and most importantly, we want to just supply the right information to families and community. And so you will get a flavor of all of that on all of our shows. If you are somebody out there watching and you feel like you would love to come on as a guest that fits within one of those, please reach out to either Nick or I on any social handle through the channel here or anything. And so we are grateful to have you on the show. Thank you again. And this is Nick and Troy signing off. We will see you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Make it grateful and make it count.